Ryan Russillo. Let's say for the sake of argument, Ryan, that it works out for Lonzo Ball. The Lakers actually do draft him. But what's the likelihood that a backcourt of Lonzo Ball and D'Angelo Russell would be beneficial for the Lakers long term?
Well, if we're talking long-term and what we're really trying to get to here, competing for championships, I don't know if D'Angelo Russell's going to become that kind of guy. But D'Angelo can definitely play off of the ball. Now, he's always been looked at least when I remember him in Ohio State and what I've seen from him in the Lakers in these 2 years, is he's a bit of a playmaker. But Lonzo Ball is off the charts. Like, you would look at Russell and go, okay, we need you to improve the shooting, but don't worry about setting everybody else up because we have one of the all-timers.
Absolutely.
I'm not looking at Lonzo as advanced because I almost don't think that's giving him enough credit. It's beyond advanced. The way Lonzo sees the court is so special. When you talk to NBA teams, they are so enamored with this guy because he's just doing things that other people don't do. And I'm talking 10-year vets in this league. The way he sets up his teammates, the angles that he sees, the passes that he makes. This is a really special prospect. And I think it's almost getting overlooked because of the tournament and because of all the other stuff that's going on with his dad.
Yeah, you know, at some point during the regular season, a lot of people were saying, college basketball regular season, that he was like Jason Kidd at the same stage of his career, but with a jump shot. And that's scary because Jason Kidd, Hall of Fame point guard in the NBA. Let's talk big picture Lakers, because I mentioned the playoffs, and that's what Laker fans want really talk about. They only won 26 games last year. Third straight year they've had the number 2 overall pick. Even if you get Ball, even if Russell works out off the ball, what else do they need, though, in L.A. to get back to those Showtime days?
Well, I mean, if we're asking that kind of question, we're talking about a guy that's not even on the roster. And I like Brandon Ingram a lot. I think he has the highest ceiling of any of their young players, but we don't know that. I mean, you're going to need a top 5 guy. So how are you getting a top 5 guy in there through the draft? As much as I love Lonzo and the fact that even this Russell question, Lonzo can play with anybody, all right? Everybody's going to be able to play around this kid. But is it a Paul George? Is it trading an Ingram for somebody else who's more established? I mean, a lot of times what happens is when you're a bad team and you start to get impatient, and maybe in a market like LA it can happen, that's when you can really screw up because you start drafting on need, you start projecting, okay, we need something in here. What you don't want to do is rush this. You don't want to rush it just because you're the Lakers and just because you're Magic and you're taking this over. So to ask me, hey, define the player, define the trade that's available, like that's an impossible thing to answer right now.
But they've got some guys that have to answer it at some point. Rob Pelinka, Magic Johnson being those 2 guys. Ron Russillo, thanks for hanging out with us.